Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Priyanka,
Okay.
please start.
All right.
Namaskar. This is my privilege to introduce our next speaker for the session. Mr. Arnab Banerjee has been a journalist and a keen film enthusiast and has worked. And
प्रियंका मैम, डू यू हैव एनी ऑडियो आउटपुट? आपने कोई लाउड स्पीकर कुछ ऐसा रखा हुआ है या फिर जो आपको माइक को कैच कर रहा है?
नहीं, ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं।
Oh, just give me a minute. Give me a minute. Now, please go ahead.
Arnab Banerjee. Just a second.
Priyanka ma'am, please unmute.
Yes, now is, I think, better. Yes, Arnab Banerjee has been a journalist and a keen film enthusiast and has worked with some of the leading national dailies like the Times of India, Hindustan Times, and Mail Today, to name a few. Besides being a reporter and a desk person, he focused on feature stories, specializing stories on music, films, music and film personalities, art, culture, books, and social issues too. He worked as an in-house film critic with the Hindustan Times and later has been contributing film reviews to the Hindustan Times and hindustantimes.com, the Asian Age, and Mail Today, and has also reported directly from film festival venues. He takes a keen interest in human interest stories and writes on many issues plaguing the nation from time to time. Presently, he reviews films for BBC and the Asian Age. Today, he is going to deliberate upon the impact of Indian cinema on consumer culture behavior spanning from 1960 to 2000. Sir, we are looking forward to listen to you and your views onto this one. Please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So first things first, I must, right at the outset, I must say that, you know, I'm an unabashed film buff. Films are something that I eat, drink, and breathe. Although I've seen the kind of scholars who are part of your organization and who are also part of the series this year, I mean, starting from Ranjini Majumdar to a whole lot of them, they are all scholars, you know, and I respect them tremendously. I'm only a film enthusiast and I love cinema, period. I love all kinds of cinema. So the topic that we've chosen today is a very wide, you know, one can just go on talking about cinema and its impact. And this is something that is a never-ending debate, whether cinema is something that has impacted us or whether it's life that has impacted cinema. Without getting into too many complicated issues, I'll start with you know, the impact of Indian cinema on our consumer culture behavior, with special reference to Hindi cinema, because, you know, when we talk about Indian cinema, it's not just Hindi cinema. Sorry, when we talk about Indian cinema, we just don't talk about Hindi cinema. One must talk about regional cinema as well, and whether it's Tamil or Malayalam or Bengali or Marathi, we have a very rich culture of cinema in our country. But somehow it's Bollywood, as they call it now for convenience, that dominates every discussion in our country and outside our country too, because Bollywood is huge and Bollywood makes the largest number of movies. So I'll restrict my discussion today to Hindi cinema, which started in the 60s, and it started much earlier than that. I mean, we were making films in the 30s also. But we were under the British rule, and there were lots of restrictions even then. The Cinematograph Act, which is the 1957 Cinematograph Act, is still being followed to some extent today, and we had problems even then. So finally, after 47, when we came on our own, in the sense, when we started making independent cinema, we started making cinema, which was something that people identified with. It was, I think, 10 years after we gained independence. Not to say that before that we were not making good cinema. I mean, we all know about Satyajit Ray, the kind of impact he has had on all filmmakers across the world. Also, a number of other filmmakers from Hindi cinema also. But primarily, I think when we talk about 60s, we talk about a whole range of movies that started, making, creating an impact on the minds of cinema goers. Also because culturally and socially and economically and politically, we were trying to evolve as a nation. It takes time for a nation to completely come on its own. So we were evolving as a nation, and hence, I think it became very important that we also wrote good literature. We also made good paintings. Cinema, as you all know, is part of fine arts, and I consider painting, art, literature, theater, sculpture, everything as part of fine arts. Cinema, for some reason, remains a popular culture board, because cinema to date remains in some parts of the country probably the only source of entertainment. But to understand how it impacted people, I think it's important to understand the definition that culture entails. Culture, I think, plays a very unspoken as well as very dynamic role in molding consumer behavior. Indian culture is an amalgamation of various cultural elements, and culture gets defined from region and religion as well. Hence, both history and geography play a very significant role in defining culture in our country. It is also true of other nations also, but it's more so in India because of our diversity, a pluralistic culture. यहाँ पे इतने तरह के लोग हैं, इतने तरह की लैंग्वेजेस हैं, इतने तरह के रीजन्स हैं कि हमें कल्चर को एक खास बॉक्स में बांध के नहीं रख सकते हैं हम. So we can broadly divide Indian culture into three categories. One is, of course, the nationalist culture, which we see in every part of the country, and in cinema in particular, we have stories on patriotism, nationalism. Then there is a popular culture, which is the mainstream culture, where we see a lot of masala movies, as we call them, and there's been a Western influence as well. So categorizing Indian culture into three category classifications: Westernization, national, and popular. Now, cinema, for some reason, has always played a very important role in the creation of cultures in many societies of the 20th century. But as I said, more so in India, because Bollywood as an economic factor for India's growth has always been a very, very significant part. So culture in that sense is the expression of a group of people who share common beliefs, common values, ideologies, and symbols. And these traits are adopted by the society with minor changes. But cinema can tell us a lot about our culture. Through the stories that cinema tells, it can tell us about the past, the present, and maybe even predict the future. And it can also reflect values and beliefs. So which is what precisely the 60s cinema did. We had some great films made in the 60s, and we had distanced ourselves from the tragedy of partition by then. We had come to terms with the tragedy of partition by then. And in a way, we were trying to show cinema in its most vibrant and robust form. And of course, the culture that India was developing those days. We had broken off from the British Raj, and we were emerging as an independent nation with strong influences of the British Raj still, I mean, language or clothes or food and everything else. But we were also emerging as a nation, which one gets to see in the cinema of the 60s. Now, I'd like to make this session a little interactive so that, I get responses from the people, and I'm not just at the end of the session, but even in between, if you want to say something, if you want to talk about a film, please feel free to just raise your hand and be a part of the discussion. So I have categorized the 5 different decades into categories which have at least 10 most talked about cinema of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and the 90s, and also 2000. But all through the decades, one thing remains common, that consumerism or behavior, consumer behavior is something that remains just the same. If you talk about the 60s, of course, there was no television, there was no radio, there was, but not the way radio is today. And of course, there was no internet. So a lot of Hindi cinemas beliefs, Hindi cinemas, housing, clothes, kurtas, fashion, influenced the common man. And somehow people almost started believed that, they could emulate them. I mean, if you talk about the 60s, I mean, Mani Rabadi, designer, and Bhanu Uthaiya, designer, they created chudidas for Sadhana, for instance, and she wore them in Waqt, Narzu, and it started a trend. I mean, before that it was Sadhana cut, but people started emulating them because it's not as if they all wanted to be part of cinema. It's not as if they wanted to act in films, but they saw something larger than life. There was not much of economic liberty though, and yet they could feel that they were closer to the tinsel town, or they could dream and they could aspire for something that Sadhana wore in films. Similarly, whether it was Sharmila Tagore's Buffet or Rajesh Khanna's Guru Kurtas and many other things, shoes and clothes and hats, all kinds of things were emulated. Surprisingly, the cinema has played such a significant role right from the time we started making films that there is less of a reference to books and characters, but more references are made to cinema's characters, cinema's, several characters. I mean, even today, after 50 years of Sholay, we keep hearing of Gabbar Singh and Basanti, Kutton ke Samne Mat Naach. All these dialogues are so common that our cultural references are all from the cinema. I mean, one rarely talks about a Sharat Chand character or the Tagore character in day-to-day terms. We don't talk about Prem Chand's character in our common language when we discuss things or we talk to our friends. But we do talk about films characters and dialogues from films. So I would say dialogues also played a very, very important role. And when I say dialogues, I'm not just talking about Devdas. I mean, we all know Sharat Chand's classic has been remade 3 times, but a lot of other things as well. Phones, how phones are used. When James Bond, for instance, used Nokia, and he moved to, now of course he's using iPhones. So it instantly creates some kind of an impact on the viewer's mind. I'm not saying people want to emulate James Bond, but there is this something that they aspire for. And I keep coming back to one point, which is what I started with, that in India, cinema plays even a bigger role. Of course, worldwide, people emulate film stars and films and the trends and everything else. But it is more so in India. Because as I started my discussion with, in India, films still remain a very, very important part of a source of entertainment. And people look up to cinema as the be-all and end-all. In some parts, I'm not saying in cities, we have other options in cities, in mega cities, in metros, we have just several different options. But in many towns of India, people still look up to film stars and cinema. And they aspire for a lot of things that film stars do. I'll also talk about locations. You can't imagine a Yash Chopra film, for instance, without its locations. I mean, you will see a Sridevi in a chiffon dancing around the Alps in Switzerland or in some other part of the world. So cinema has impacted our consumer behavior to such an extent that it has also impacted the corporate behavior of people. The corporates, have started looking at cinema as an important uh, tool. So there is something called cultural tourism, which actually has impacted India in a big way. So I've been told by filmmakers that before the start of film or before a narration is given to a film star, many of them ask them, where is it going to be shot? And of course, the shooting of the entire story becomes very important. If it is being shot in Hong Kong or Bangkok or Dubai, then it adds more charm. They all look at it not for themselves, but they understand that the audience is going to love it. Because tourism again is something which has impacted. Bollywood has had impacted the audience with. Then homes. Just before this discussion, I was talking to somebody in a small town, somebody who belongs to a small town, and he told me how in smaller towns in the 60s and the 70s, there was not much economic liberty. There was not much literacy. People could not afford to buy magazines, but cinema influenced them to such an extent that people would actually, before building their homes, would actually show certain films to their builders and architects and tell them to copy something. For instance, somebody saw Zinat Aman's bathroom in a film and said, "Oh, okay, I want a film of the 70s," and he said, "I want a bathroom like this." So, cultural behavior of the Indians has always been influenced by cinema. Things are changing now. Things have changed completely in many cities, as I said. But if we look at the behavior of the people, I think in many ways it has remained the same. So I would like to talk about some of the films that have actually made a huge impact. For instance, just a second, I'll just open one of the. In the 60s gave us some timeless classics like Mughal-e-Azam. We had classics like Jewel Thief. We had classics like Guru Dutt's films. We had also Rajesh Khanna, who had emerged as one of the topmost stars. So how did we, in India, how did we actually look at cinema then? Cinema was an outing for most people. It was an experience. Not everybody could afford to go to a theater. But even if they couldn't afford to go to a theater, they would somehow get to know about a certain release, and they would talk about it. So K. Asif's grand epic Mughal-e-Azam, probably is the ultimate tale of doomed love. And besides some great stars like Prithviraj Kapoor, who plays Emperor Akbar and uses all his power to suppress the illicit love between his son and heir to the Mughal throne, Prince Salim, played by Dilip Kumar, and a lovely courtesan called Anarkali, played by Madhubala. There was great music in the film. Anarkali's fearless defiance of Akbar gives Mughal-e-Azam some of its most iconic confrontational moments. But I think till date, I'm told, I've heard it from my parents, when they saw it, saw the film, that people were so moved by the film that they would just talk about the relationship between father and son and whether what he did was right or not. So besides the fact that people were moved by the story, they would also talk about the grandeur, how the grandeur of the film affected them. Obviously, it was about kings and palaces and queens, and I'm talking about ordinary people here. So ordinary people somehow could not emulate what they saw on screen, but what impacted them was the dialogues. So in many ways, in their day-to-day parlance, they would often talk about or reproduce all the dialogues which Dilip Kumar or Prithviraj Kapoor delivered. It was a passionate performance, and Mughal-e-Azam remains the crowning glory of Madhubala's career. And it is also a tribute to the imagination, the hard work, and the lavish sets. In fact, Filmfare said that it was probably one of the most lavish film ever made in India today. And of course, it's music. So if people could not be like their favorite stars or characters they saw on screen, they would make sure that some part of the film would carry you. So the takeaways were many. Music was one, of course. Dresses was one. And other than that, dialogues, which people remember till date. A lot of people who grew up in the early 60s remember those. I mean, they're all old people now, but I've spoken to some people and then they recall how important that phase became for them because they were growing up and how important those dialogues became to them. Then there were films like Chaudhary Ka Chand. You must also remember that, some of Gurudutt's works are great works. And again, Chaudhary Ka Chand was a very lavishly mounted Muslim social drama. But a lot of cinema was centered around social drama or family dramas, where there was a son and there was a daughter. The daughter had to be married. The father didn't earn much. They were mostly social themes that they dealt with. Now, again, these were something people identified with because it was something that they saw in their day-to-day lives. But again, it was something that impacted them in such a way that it was some kind of a reinforcement of their values. Films rarely portrayed something that was not real. They were as real as one saw drama in real life or social issues in real life. So people's identifying with, cinema goers identifying with these social themes was something that was a very big takeaway for them. At the same time, we also had some very interesting light-hearted films where we had one Elvis Presley-like character, Shammi Kapoor, playing a clown in a film called Jungli. Yahoo is something that again is still being followed. A lot of people still remember Jungli. It was not a very serious film, but Shammi Kapoor established himself as one of the first dancing stars of India. And he also broke the shackles of his, the serious acting with which a lot of actors like Balraj Sahani and Dilip Kumar were associated with. He brought a Jodie Vivry, into the cinema of the 60s. And it was a simple interpretation of a Jungli, a man breaking all rules and going all out. And it was done in such a way that only Shammi Kapoor could. But it had an impact. I'm not saying people started behaving like Shammi Kapoor, but not everything is serious about cinema or life. There are light moments in everyone's life. And people of the 60s were no different. They knew that they could not be Shammi Kapoor. I mean, the way he acted, it was something that they could not even aspire for, but they saw it from a distance. And if you look at many of Shammi Kapoor performances, you will notice that it is far removed, very divorced from reality. I mean, his movements are exaggerated, but as I said, his freestyle of dancing, his never say die attitude, his whole attitude, his approach to life was something that people loved. So it was a takeaway, which again impacted their personal life. I repeat, when I say personal life, I don't mean that they started acting like Shammi Kapoor, but a lot of them maybe aspired to be like Shammi Kapoor's character in films, or they thought that this was something that would actually help them get away from boredom or seriousness of their day-to-day lives. There's also another very important film made called Ganga Jamuna, which I think was released in 1961, where you had Dilip Kumar playing a UP-born mouthing Bhojpuri, and or rather nuances of Awadhi can be also seen. But Ganga Jamna's real influence can be felt on Salim Javed's style, who actually took that inspiration right into the heart of their scripts. And you see that influence in some of the scripts that they have written. So India is huge. India is not a monolith. And Ganga Jamuna spoke about characters, or had a storyline about brothers, about village, about city, and people again identified with it. They thought it was a story about them, about it was something that they could relate to. And of course, the beautiful script and the wonderful acting by all the cast made it very, very important for them. Around the same time, while Guru Dutt was making his kind of cinema, his mentor, they say Bimal Roy was Guru Dutt's mentor in a way. Bandini came. Guru Dutt was almost a feminist kind of a filmmaker. He could definitely be described as one of the feminists that we see in Indian cinema today. It's a very powerful ode to freedom. Bandini is one film which is known for Nutan's performance and also the storyline. So people had stopped, or probably people could not afford to read much, but a lot of classics they saw on cinema, on celluloid, and the takeaway was that they was watching a film which had a great storyline, and they the simple beauty of Nutan's performance and the great strong character that she played in the film was something that they was a takeaway for them. How did it impact them? They understood the dilemma a woman faces, and I'm talking about the social impact the movie had. I'm talking about the psychological impact the movie had. As I said, we can talk about phones and hairstyles and kurtas and churidars and a whole lot of things when we talk about cinema's influence on people and movie watchers. But there is also the social and psychological impact, which some of these movies obviously are known for. Then there was a film called Waqt. Waqt was a typical lost and found formula film, which was invented by one Ashok Kumar film way back in the 40s called Kismat. This is something that all through 60s and 70s and even 80s to some extent remained very popular. Now, cinema doesn't always necessarily impacts the consumer behavior of people. As I said, a lot of things are meant to be imbibed. A lot of things are meant to be just enjoyed or understood. A lot of things are probably not understood otherwise, but when they see it on the silver screen, is a 3-hour film or a 2.5 film, and they see a certain issue in totality, probably it impacts them. So Waqt was one film which is a multi-starrer. It was a very important film of those times. It also showed how family, big family reunions happen, and I think that was the takeaway. That after a lot of tragedy, finally, family gets back together. Another very important film that came in the 60s was Vijay Anand's Guide. Guide, of course, we know is a classic with Wahida Rahman and S.D. Burman's music, and of course Dev Anand's. It was based on R.K. Narayan's novel, The Guide. The final film isn't exactly what it is in the book, but it was, I think, Vijay Anand's unique and personal interpretation of the text, complete with all other musical sensibilities of S.D. Burman's music, and of course Shalin's lyrics, that became so powerful that it is remembered till date. Guide has already made one understand the highly philosophical and spiritual journey of a very lowly tourist guide. Here's a common man who is actually not much educated in that sense, and yet he's most unconventional, in many ways. So people saw that dichotomy that is presented in the film, and I think ऐसे फिल्म में enjoyment के साथ साथ अगर कोई मैसेज लेके जा रहा है तो अच्छी बात है. हालांकि फिल्म, मुझे जैसे मैंने शुरू में कहा कि फिल्में ऐसे नहीं बनती हैं कि कोई मैसेज के साथ ही बनाई जाए, कोई अच्छी बात कही जाए और लोगों तक पहुंचाने के लिए उसमें एक थीम रखी जाए, उसमें कोई कैरेक्टर डाला जाए कि लोगों को कुछ सिखाया जाए, कोई मॉरल लेसन दे. हाँ, अगर किसी को लगता है उसमें से कोई सीखने लायक कुछ वो ले जाता है तो वो अच्छी बात है. लेकिन सिनेमा, मुझे नहीं लगता कि सिनेमा जब बनाते हैं लोग तो ये सोच के बनाते हैं that okay, there has to be some message in the film. That is not what the role of cinema is, and which is why I'm dead against all kinds of restrictions on cinema. So there were other films also, some very entertaining cinema which had suspense, and there were mystery thrillers like Jewel Thief and Teesri Manzil. There were murder mysteries. There were social impact films, which were light-hearted films, not made with the intensity of a Bimal Roy or a Guru Dutt. And yet, it was something that did commercially well at the box office, and the people loved it also. We also had patriotic films then. Patriotic films, I think one film that comes to my mind is Upkar, which was made by Manoj Kumar in '67. We know of nationalistic movies that are being made by Ajay Devgan and Sunny Deol and Akshay Kumar these days. But it was Bharat Kumar, that is Manoj Kumar, who started the trend. And it was a runaway success. So cinema in all its forms, I think, impacted every man in society. The rich, the poor, the child, the youth, the boy, the girl, a married couple, single people, all kinds. So people filmmakers started experimenting with different forms of cinema, different storylines, different thematic content, and which is why we see a wide variety of cinema those days. And the other thing which is I think was very important was that there was no television. Of course, there was no internet. So people watch these cinema over and over again. Is there a question which I can take now? Anybody wants to have a question, or anybody wants to make a comment? Anybody who feels that I've left out something and they would like to add, please go ahead and hello. Hello.
जी सर आप वेट कीजिए सर, क्वेश्चंस देखे जा रहे हैं सर.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, just a second.
Sir, video is not there.
I'm just starting it. Yeah. एक second. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really nice, and
No, we haven't finished. We'll talk about 70s.
yeah,
But
okay.
I just thought maybe, all these students or lovers of Hindi cinema or cinema per se, I think they may have a lot more to say about cinema of the 60s and how it could have impacted the social behavior. So I just want this session to be a little more interactive, which is why I said, if you have a question or if you have a comment to make, then we can discuss that. Right? Can you repeat the question? I read it. I couldn't get it. It was something about villains. Can anyone read it out? Can you read it out, please?
Yes, sir, I'm reading this.
Yeah.
The question is by Avik Bhattacharya. He is asking that what are your reflections on films that depicted villains as heroes? Don't you think films like Dar, Ram Jane, even Sholay or Diwar, when negative characters had been shown as heroes, socially or legally unacceptable things had been depicted as symbols of manliness, could have had a negative impact upon the mass?
Abhik, there's something called poetic justice. In cinema or in literature, you will notice that, a villain may be given a lot of importance in terms of the length of the character, in terms of screen time. But in the end, what happens? It is not something that Gabbar Singh has his way. So villains, in Shakespeare's villains, also you will notice that villains are sometimes, or in fact always, far smarter than the heroes at times. They think one step ahead. So in Hindi cinema also, we have had villains who are very good-looking people, but of course they have a mortal flaw, which is what happens, which is their doom. So in the end, of course, you may say that in first part of the film, a lot of their such characters are glorified to some extent, but I don't think that the villains get away with their villainy in the end, because they don't get full justice, or rather they meet their end in some way or the other. So it would be wrong to say that films have glorified villains always. In the end, it's just deserts for them.
Sir, one more question.
Yeah.
Is is Neeraj Kumar saying, can you comment on changing form of comedy from 60s still present in Indian cinema, and how much market is responsible for this?
Sorry, I didn't get it. Want to ask the way historical content gets no.
No, it's changing form of comedy from 60s
Comedy,
till
okay.
present. Yeah, and how much market is responsible in this change?
I think comedy depends a lot on the actors. You know, if you had great actors, comic actors like the Kishore Kumar, for instance, or Mahmood, who had great comic timing. Of course, the use of swear words was not allowed then. You couldn't use any cuss words. कोई गाली वाली नहीं दे सकते थे. लेकिन कॉमेडी का स्तर जो है मुझे लगता है कि अच्छे एक्टर्स की वजह से बहुत ऊंचा था, बहुत बहुत ज्यादा ऊंचा था. आज भी हमारे पास बहुत अच्छे एक्टर्स हैं जिनको आप स्क्रीन पे देखते हैं तो आपको हंसी आती है, और या वो कोई भी सीन में एक ऐसा रंग पैदा कर देते हैं. जैसे अमिताभ बच्चन ही है, आई थिंक ही हैज ग्रेट कॉमिक टाइमिंग. जूही चावला हैज ग्रेट कॉमिक टाइमिंग. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमारे पास उतनी अच्छी स्क्रिप्ट्स नहीं है. एक एक्टर कुछ हद तक ही एक सीन को उभार सकता है. अगर उसके पास अच्छी लाइंस नहीं है, अच्छे डायलॉग्स नहीं है, अच्छी सिचुएशन नहीं है, तो वो मुश्किल होता है. डेविड धवन की फिल्मों में हमने देखा है हाउ his chemistry with Govinda worked tremendously only because they just gelled as a team, both filmmaker and as an actor. Also Johnny Lever. आजकल अगेन मैं जनरलाइज तो नहीं करूंगा, अच्छे एक्टर्स आज भी हैं, बहुत अच्छी स्क्रिप्ट्स अभी भी लिखी जा रही हैं, लेकिन हाँ बहुत हद तक फूहड़ता भी बहुत है. यानी a lot of it is forced writing, forced humor, and I think comedy per se is not given that importance anymore unless it's an out comedy.
More of double meanings, meanings related to
yes, you're right, absolutely.
and all.
I forgot to add that. Yes, a lot of double meaning. I mean, जरूरी नहीं है कि आप कोई कस वर्ड या डबल मीनिंग डायलॉग से ही हंसी पैदा कर सकें. लेकिन आप एक चीज जो मैं शुरू में शायद कहना चाह रहा था वो मैं कह नहीं पाया. Films, are always counting on the socio-economic political background of a country. आज जो हम liberal एक attitude देखते हैं young का, I'm not that old and I'm not that young either, but when I see a lot of these 18-year-olds or 20-year-olds, I marvel at the independence they enjoy today and the kind of cultural freedom they enjoy today. And it's not just something that's related to their clothes they wear, the food they eat, but in every, in every which way. So that cultural freedom they enjoy, their lingo, for instance, their language, for instance, बहुत सारे words हैं जो मेरे समय पे गालियां थी, आज नहीं है. आज बहुत आराम से लोग बोल देते हैं कुछ चीजें जो मैं हैरान रहता हूँ सुन के, कह रही कैसे बोल रहे, मेरी तो फट गई. मतलब I couldn't imagine saying this, in school or college or even today. In my family I cannot say, but आजकल बहुत आराम से लोग बोल देते हैं. तो वो जो कॉमेडी का जो स्तर है इस लेवल पे आ गया है कि लोग बहुत खुल के कोई चीज बोलते हैं तो सोचते हैं कि यही मजेदार है, यही कॉमेडी है. बस जरूरी नहीं है कि खुल के कुछ दिखाया जाए या बोला जाए तो वही हंसी पैदा करेगा. सटल चीजें जो होती है वो समझने में मजा जो आता है, जो आपको अमोल पालेकर की फिल्म में मिलेंगी, ऋषिकेश मुखर्जी या बासु चैटर्जी की फिल्म, गुलजार की फिल्मों में कॉमेडी मिलती है. देवेंद्र वर्मा थे, संजीव कुमार, जबरदस्त कॉमेडी टाइमिंग थी उनकी. तो वो जो एक आप वो कुछ कह रहे हैं और यट कह भी नहीं रहे, तो मुझे लगता है कि वो वाला फेज एक था. आजकल हर चीज इतनी खुली हो गई है, सोसाइटी इतनी बदल चुकी है, हर चीज खुलापन है सोसाइटी में कि वो सटलिटी हम फिल्मों में भी नहीं देख पाते हैं.
कृष्णमूर्ति जी कुछ कहना चाह रहे हैं. रविंद्र, आप उनको अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं?
हाँ बिल्कुल.
सॉरी मैम, कौन है?
हाँ रविंद्र, Krishnamurti. हाँ, कृष्णमूर्ति जी आप बोल सकते हैं।
आप अनम्यूट करके बोल सकते हैं।
आप पहले अनम्यूट कीजिए फिर आप बोल पाएंगे।
ओके।
कृष्णमूर्ति जी।
हाँ मैम।
हाँ, पूछिए आप क्या
बोलिए।
कहना चाह रहे
Am
थे।
I audible, ma'am? Am I audible, ma'am?
या जी आप ऑडिबल हैं।
Cinema has something to offer for everybody, ma'am. Sir, you have spoken more informative things. Cinema has something to offer for everybody. If I want something from cinema, it will give something for me. It depends upon the taste of the individual. This is the observation which I would like to make. I am from Ooty. My first movie that I saw from Bollywood was Maine Pyar Kiya. My
Okay.
language is Tamil, and basically my language is Badga. There is a Badga language, which is typical in Ooty. But I picked a Hindi language just by watching Hindi movies. It has been a very long journey, right? From Maine Pyar Kiya, Salman Khan's Maine Pyar Kiya. From that time onwards, of the latest movies, I
Okay.
just watched movies and I picked this language.
Okay.
So I've gone to the extent of marrying even a North Indian, a Delhi-born girl.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Movie has something to give. What we expect, whether it is good or bad, whatever be it like, it cannot completely serve education, but it has something. It is the creamy layer of education. So what we want from the cinema, that would definitely offer. If you want entertainment, it would offer. If we want education for all age groups, all age, from children to old people. Something there's the colors, the
I
light.
completely agree with you. Completely,
Yes,
Mr.
kind of
Krishnamurti, I
thing
completely
offer.
agree with you.
Yes.
I also want to add one more thing, which is
Yes.
that yes, one can get influenced by cinema in a big
Yes,
way,
yes.
but one doesn't change. You know, in
Yes.
real life also, if you have a good teacher, if you
Yes.
have a good, a spouse, of course, there are several ways, adopt to change your spouse if you want to. But
Yes.
it's difficult to change a person. You can definitely influence. So what
Yes.
we are discussing is that, all through the 60s and 70s and 80s, thanks to all the socio-political and economic situation of the country, there were different takeaways for different set of people.
Yes, sir.
Right, we haven't come to 70s and 80s and 90s.
Yes.
70s, we started a movement called the parallel movement.
Yes.
By then, we had tasted success internationally. Our films were doing well. They were
Yes.
going to festivals, and we were also fetching good awards. But then we were not very happy making only one certain kind of cinema.
Yes.
Either there was this, the likes of Satyajit Ray and Mridul Sen making cinema, or down south, there were some wonderful filmmakers in Malayalam.
Yes.
Who were also going abroad and getting awards for their films. But the mainstream cinema was stagnating in a big way.
Yes.
And that's when the parallel movement started. Basu Chatterjee, Bhuvan Shom was made, then Rishikesh Mukherjee, a whole lot of people, Gulzar, they started making cinema in the 70s. So every decade
Yes.
of cinema making was dependent on the political situation of the country also.
Yes, sir.
When
Definitely.
the political situation was dull, you also saw dullness in cinema making. There were some great voices emerging.
Yes.
Whenever there is crisis, there is always one section of the society, and particularly the artist community, that emerges and voices its displeasure.
Yes.
But more or less, the mainstream cinema was stagnating.
Yes.
Then the 80s also we had great cinema, but in fits and starts.
Yes.
The 90s revolutionized everything. The 90s, because there was economic liberation, there was liberalization, the process of liberalization started. Till then, we were watching international cinema, buying video cassettes, and we used to buy a VCR or a VCP and watch the video cassettes of international cinema. But liberalization gave us a lot more access to international cinema. So technologically, we started making better films.
Yes.
And the whole of 90s, then you will see a sea change as far as our themes are concerned. So
There are
it all
movies
depends
that also
on.
teachers. There are
Yeah.
movies that motivated even teachers. For example, the character, Amitabh Bachchan character in action movie, Hrithik Roshan movie, 30 Success 30. The reason movie, sir. So
Yeah.
what we want from movies, that definitely they will help us. This is the observation I wish to make, sir. Thank you for the
Okay.
opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Anybody else?
प्रियंका जी कोई और प्रश्न पूछना चाहता है या नहीं, देखिए जरा।
भारत मेहता सर,
I thought आप अभी continue करेंगे थोड़ा,
हाँ, sir.
2000 तक पहुंचेंगे तो we'll take
मैम,
the questions. at the same time.
भारत मेहता जी पूछना चाह रहे हैं, प्लीज आस्क योर क्वेश्चन।
हेलो
Yeah.
सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि ये जो भारत एक मल्टीकल्चरल सोसाइटी है, तो धीरे धीरे मैं देख रहा हूँ कि क्रमशः ये मल्टीकल्चरल हमारी जो सोसाइटी है उसका डिपिक्शन कम होते जा रहा है, या तो सक्सेस नहीं हो रहे, ऐसा आपको फील होता है? डू यू फील?
आई थिंक ये होना ही था, मतलब जैसे जैसे बौद्धिक विकास होगा, लोग पढ़ेंगे ज्यादा तो लोग जानेंगे अपने बारे में। सबसे पहले लोग अपने बारे में जानना चाहते हैं कि हम कौन हैं, कहाँ से आए हैं, हमारी जात क्या है, हम कौन से रीजन के हैं, हमारी भाषा क्या है। तो धीरे धीरे जो है वो अपने बारे में ज्यादा जानते हैं, और उससे शुरू में हो जाए तर्क बढ़ता है, यानी यू स्टार्ट आर्ग्यूइंग, यू लाइक फॉर इंस्टेंस a lot of cuisines from across the country was unknown to many other states. Bihari cuisine is something that was not very common till very recently in Delhi, right? People only knew about litti choka, but with the opening of several restaurants that serve only Bihari cuisine, people have realized that, okay, this is also one part of India where they serve a variety of dishes. So लोग जब दूसरे के बारे में जानना शुरू करेंगे, लोग अपने बारे में जानना शुरू करेंगे, तो एक आर्ग्यूमेंट होगा, तर्क होगा। तो हम लोग उस टेक ऑफ स्टेज में है जहाँ पे थोड़ा थोड़ा आर्ग्यूमेंट बढ़ रहा है कि लोग कहते हैं नहीं, हम बहुत अच्छी फिल्म बनाते हैं, हमारा लिटरेचर बहुत अच्छा है, हमारे यहाँ बहुत अच्छे मंदिर हैं या मस्जिद हैं बहुत अच्छे, हमारे यहाँ बहुत अच्छी लोकेशंस हैं। तेरा मेरा जो है थोड़ा बढ़ेगा, ये स्वाभाविक है होना। लेकिन अल्टीमेटली भी हम सब इंडियंस हैं। अल्टीमेटली हमारा जो कल्चर है वो बहुत यूनिक है और बहुत इंडियन है। आप किसी साउथ इंडियन में जाएंगे तो वहाँ की कपड़े और भाषा और खाना आपको अलग लगेगा, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली डीप डाउन वी आर वेरी इंडियन, सो डाइवर्सिटी को एंजॉय भी करना चाहिए। और डाइवर्सिटी में जाहिर सी बात है कि जब लोग अपने बारे में ज्यादा जाएंगे तो थोड़ा सा आर्ग्यूमेंट तो होगा ही। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि वो इरोड हो जाएगा कंप्लीटली, वो खत्म हो जाएगा। आई थिंक वी विल रिमेन यूनिकली diverse and pluralistic always, which is the strength of our nation.
नहीं, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है सर थोड़ा कि ये जो प्री प्लान जैसे माइंडसेट क्रिएट होता है, जैसे मान लीजिए कि एक ही साल में लगान बनती है और गदर एक प्रेम कथा, तो जो टैग देना पड़ा प्रेम कथा, वो हकीकत में प्रेम कथा कैसी हम जानते हैं। लेकिन देखिए आपकी लगान में जो डाइवर्सिटी की बात रखी और दोनों एक ही टाइम पे रिलीज हो रही है, लेकिन गदर एक प्रेम कथा जो माइंडसेट क्रिएट कर रहा है सर, और लगान जो माइंडसेट क्रिएट कर रहा है, ये दोनों को जब देखते हैं तो लगता है कि कुछ ना कुछ ये जो रुझान आ रहा है कि धीरे धीरे एक मोनोलिथिक सोसाइटी की ओर जाने की बात दिखाई पड़ रही है सब।
ऐसा मुझे नहीं लगता है कि ये ऐसा एक मोनोलिथिक सोसाइटी। ऑफ कोर्स आप मुझे समझ में आ रहा है कि आप किस ओर आपका इशारा है। ऐसा होता है कि एक पर्टिकुलर रेजिम या एक पर्टिकुलर गवर्नमेंट आती है, वो एक तरह की जिंगोइस्टिक फीलिंग लेके चलती है अपने साथ, और कि ये हम हैं और हमारा ही धर्म है और हम ऐसे लोग हैं और हमने विमान बनाया था और हमने ये किया था, हमने वो किया था। But all kinds make this world, you know. End of the day, we are of various different varieties. So आप ये तो देखिए ना कि लगान और गदर एक साथ रिलीज होती है, दोनों हिट होती है, दोनों इक्वली हिट होती है, उतनी दोनों होती, ये मेरे ख्याल से बड़ी बात है, बजाय इसके कि हम, हाँ ऑफ कोर्स वो जिंगोइज्म या पेट्रियोटिक फिल्में जो बन रही हैं जबरदस्त, उसमें भारत भारत का नारा लग रहा है, वो उसको उससे आपत्ति हो सकती है हम लोगों को, लेकिन हम अल्टीमेटली हम ऑडियंस जो है हम ढूंढ रहे हैं, ऑडियंस सब तरह की है, ऑडियंस इंडिया में सब तरह की है, लोग हर तरह के हैं. But can we move on? Otherwise, you know, I think it's already 4, so we will not be able to. Our time is only till 4:30.
Yes, sir. Please.
है ना?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, you know, we've actually come this far. So I'll quickly go through the other decades as well.
Yes.
Just a second. I think 70s remained a very, very important period of filmmaking in our country, mostly because, you know, we had till then, considering the, you know, diversity and outreach, films became most effective tool to comprehend and communicate social norms and attitudes and you know, cultural derivatives and behaviors to the audiences. So if you look at the cinema of the 70s, again, as I said, there was a parallel movement when a lot of filmmakers from Basu Chatterjee to Gulzar to a whole range of people started making films. Arguably, it's a very influential decade vis-a-vis its impact on India's popular culture. The decade 70s is, you know, it's uniquely placed in the Bollywood pantheon. बहुत सारे ऐसे फिल्में बनी जो अलग अलग रंग लेके आई. आनंद आई एक ऋषिकेश मुखर्जी की. आनंद एक कैंसर से पीड़ित आदमी की कहानी थी, लेकिन वो हंसता रहता है और हंसाता रहता है. इसके साथ साथ फिल्में आई, एक शोले फिल्म बनी उसी साल, शोले भी आई है, उसी डेकेड में शोले भी आई है. उसी दौरान अमर अकबर एंथनी जैसी मास मसाला माइंडलेस एंटरटेनर, माइंडलेस इसलिए कह रहा हूं कि उसमें लॉजिक का कोई लेना देना नहीं था, कोई रीजनिंग नहीं थी, लेकिन जबरदस्त हिट थी. उसी समय डॉन बनी. डॉन आपको पता है इसके बाद दोबारा बन चुकी है, आज तक लोग डॉन को याद करते हैं. उसी समय बॉबी आई. बॉबी एक इतनी यूनिक लव स्टोरी है जिसमें हमें 2 जबरदस्त एक्टर्स भी दिए, लेकिन साथ साथ उससे पहले हमने मॉडर्न लव स्टोरी नहीं देखी थी. हम लैला मजनू और सीरी फरहाद और बाजीराव मस्तानी देख चुके थे, लेकिन मॉडर्न लव स्टोरी हमने जूली और बॉबी में देखी. तो ये अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा एक हिस्सा था बॉलीवुड का. तो और कॉमेडी भी बनी उस दौरान, चुपके चुपके. आप कॉमेडी की बात कर रहे थे, तो हाँ, एक बहुत जबरदस्त एक प्योर कॉमेडी जिसमें कोई डबल मीनिंग डायलॉग्स नहीं थे, सिर्फ डायलॉग्स और एक्टिंग, जबरदस्त धर्मेंद्र की एक्टिंग और अमिताभ बच्चन की एक्टिंग और स्क्रिप्ट. उसमें एक स्क्रिप्ट किंग था, मतलब राजा उसमें अगर देखा जाए तो सच में कौन है, स्क्रिप्ट. और ऑफ कोर्स ऋषिकेश मुखर्जी और गुलजार साहब हैं. ऑफ कोर्स आपको क्रेडिट देना ही पड़ेगा अमिताभ बच्चन और धर्मेंद्र को. लेकिन ये दौर ऐसा था कि हमें आजाद हुए करीब 20-25-23 साल हो गए थे. हम लेकिन पूरी तरह से आजाद इस तरह नहीं थे कि हम लोग फिर भी डिपेंडेंट थे बहुत सारी चीजों में. जो वेस्ट के पास था हमारे पास नहीं था, इन टर्म्स ऑफ एजुकेशन, इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंडस्ट्रीज, इन टर्म्स ऑफ गैजेट्स. बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी थी जो वेस्ट के पास थी, हमारे पास नहीं थी, लेकिन हम फिर भी इंडिपेंडेंटली हम सिनेमा अच्छा बनाने लगे थे. तो और टेक अवे क्या था इसमें कि एक वन मैन इंडस्ट्री, एक एंग्री यंग मैन के रूप में अमिताभ बच्चन का कैरेक्टर सलीम जावेद ने पिरोया, और उसका टेक अवे था कल्चरल, कि लोगों में जो एक अंदर से एक रोष भरा हुआ था, एक दर्द भी था और एक गुस्सा भी था, वो एंग्री यंग मैन के जरिए वो उभर के आया. किसी भी दौर में, किसी भी पीरियड में ऐसा नहीं होता है कि लोग फिल्में देखी और फिल्मों से इन्फ्लुएंस हुए और फिर वैसे ही करने लगे। ऐसा नहीं कह रहा हूं मैं कि क्राइम कम हो गए या देखिए क्राइम का होना ना होना और चीजों पे निर्भर करता है, फिल्मों से उसका कोई लेना देना नहीं है। एक आर्गुमेंट हो सकता है कि क्राइम सिर्फ देख के लोग फिल्मों में क्राइम देख के क्राइम करते हैं या क्राइम होता है इसलिए फिल्में बनती हैं। ये आर्गुमेंट बहुत पुराना है और चलता रहता है। किसी भी आप स्कूल में जाएंगे, किसी भी वाद विवाद में पढ़ेंगे तो ये चलता रहेगा कि फलाने ने फिल्म देख के क्राइम किया, या लोग बोलेंगे नहीं ये तो क्राइम हुआ था इसलिए फिल्म मेकर ने इसमें फिल्म बनाई। वो एक अलग डिबेट है ऑल टुगेदर। मैं बार बार एक चीज दोहरा रहा हूँ कि फिल्में देखकर ऐसा नहीं होता है कि लोग बदल जाते हैं कि भाई हमने वो देखा और यू नो वी काइंड ऑफ started emulating in our day-to-day lives. But एक कहीं ना कहीं इन्फ्लुएंस जरूर रहा सलीम जावेद की एंग्री यंग मैन के कैरेक्टर में, और वो कल्चरल ही था। वो सिर्फ अमिताभ का अनशेवन लुक या एक डेनिम की शर्ट या जीन्स का नहीं था, वो कल्चरल भी था, इसलिए कि जो एंग्स्ट है, जो एक गुस्सा है और जो एक दर्द है, वो सारा उभर के आ रहा था और उससे लोग आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे थे। तो ये इसीलिए 70s का दौर में कहूंगा एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट दौर रहा है। शोले जैसी फिल्म हमने तब तक नहीं देखी थी। इट वाज वाइडली अप्रिशिएटेड, आज तक वो एक कल्ट फिल्म है। उस दौरान और भी हिट्स थी, लेकिन आप सोचिए कि जहां पर एक आनंद जैसी फिल्म बन रही है, उसी दौरान शोले जैसी फिल्म भी बन रही है जो वायलेंस पर आधारित थी। उस समय डाकुओं पे बहुत ज्यादा इस तरह की फिल्में नहीं बनती थी। गंगा जमुना थी थोड़ी सी, या सुनील दत्त की थी एक दो फिल्में, लेकिन इस तरह से नहीं थी कि बदला लेना, और इतने स्केल पर नहीं बनती थी। तो फिल्म्स का जो माध्यम रहा है वो सिर्फ एंटरटेनमेंट ही नहीं है, कहीं ना कहीं उसका प्रकोप हमें दिखाई देता है, उसका इन्फ्लुएंस दिखाई देता है हमारे सोसाइटी में। फिल्म देखकर कोई गब्बर सिंह नहीं बन गया, लेकिन एक इमोशनल जो एस्पेक्ट है, चाहे वो अमिताभ बच्चन और वीरू की जय की जोड़ी का हो, दोस्ती का हो, वो कहीं ना कहीं आज तक हम उसको लेके चल रहे हैं। दोस्ती की बात होती तो हम फौरन ये दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे कहते हैं। एक चीज और मैं कहना भूल गया कि हिंदी फिल्मों ने जब से बननी शुरू हुई हैं, एक हमारा यूनिक स्थान इसलिए भी है वर्ल्ड में कि हम लोग की फिल्मों में गाने होते हैं जो कि लिप सिंक होते हैं। बाहर वाले हमारी हर फिल्म को म्यूजिकल कहते हैं। हॉलीवुड में, यूएस में आप जाएंगे, यूरोप में बोलेंगे ओ एवरी इंडियन फिल्म इज ए म्यूजिकल, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ हीरोइन अचानक गाने लगती है। अब तो थोड़ा बदल गया है, अब उस तरह से नहीं होता है। दीपिका पादुकोण और आलिया भट्ट उस तरह से गाने नहीं गाते, लेकिन अधिकतर हमारे यहाँ गानों की वजह से फिल्म भी हिट होती है बहुत हद तक। तो सिनेमा में गानों का एक बहुत अहम रोल रहा है, और वो इवन श्याम बेनेगल या गोविंद निहलानी की फिल्मों में भी हमें मिला है, ऋषिकेश मुखर्जी की, जहाँ पे थीमेटिकली हमें बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग थीम्स तो मिली है, साथ साथ एक्टर्स भी मिले हैं, साथ साथ स्टोरी लाइन मिली है, साथ में म्यूजिक का भी बहुत अहम किरदार रहा है। तो चाहे वो आनंद हो, चाहे पाकीज़ा हो, जंजीर हो, बॉबी हो, बहुत सारी अनगिनत फिल्में हैं। उस दौरान हमने देखा कि हर फिल्म अलग अलग तरीके से बनी और अलग अलग तरीके से हमें एंजॉय करने को मिली। इसी दौरान श्याम बेनेगल की अंकुर और निशांत भी आई। अंकुर पैरेलल सिनेमा की मेरे ख्याल से सबसे अनोखी फिल्म रही थी, जिसमें हमें जबरदस्त एक्टर शबाना आजमी और नसीरुद्दीन शाह जैसे हमें कैरेक्टर्स मिले। अगेन आप बोलेंगे कि एक ऐसी फिल्म से कल्चरल एजुकेशन क्या हो सकता है, या कल्चरल टेक अवे क्या हो सकता है। कल्चरल टेक अवे यही है कि हम अलग किस्म से सोचने पर मजबूर होते हैं। उससे पहले 60s में हम फैमिली ड्रामा देखते थे, या पेट्रियोटिक फिल्में देखते थे, या हम सोशल इशू पे फिल्म देखते थे। यहाँ पे हमने एक बिल्कुल अलग किस्म के किरदार, अलग किस्म के तरह से पेश किए गए किरदार देखे। यानी श्याम बेनेगल, it was as I said, it was an unusual era, because alongside mainstream blockbusters there was also flourishing middle of the road cinema या parallel cinema जिसको हम कहते हैं। तो वो न्यू वेव था। न्यू वेव सिनेमा ने, ऐसा नहीं कि मैं पहले भी कहा कि सिनेमा से एकदम लोग न्यू वेव की तरह बिहेव करने लगे, लेकिन पैरेलल मूवमेंट, क्लासिक जो मूवमेंट शुरू हुआ, श्याम बेनेगल भी हिस्सा थे उसके, उन्होंने जो जिस तरह की थीम्स को एक्सप्लोर किया, कास्ट और सोशल एक्सप्लॉयटेशन को लेके, उसका कल्चरल इम्पैक्ट जरूर पड़ा। कहीं ना कहीं इन्फ्लुएंस हुए हम। से पहले हम दलित को लेके या जो मार्जिनलाइज्ड सोसाइटी के लोग हैं उनको लेके शायद बिमल रॉय की सुजाता को छोड़ के हम इतना ज्यादा उस पर तवज्जो नहीं देते। वी डिड नॉट गिव सो मच इम्पोर्टेंस टू सच सिनेमा। लेकिन the film also became a cult film. It was an important milestone in Indian cinema because it gave us wonderful stars. It also became a hit. It also started a movement. So people did get impacted. There was also Diwar. Again, Diwar is about brothers, but it's about right and wrong. It's about one police inspector, another underworld king. Again, जो moral dilemma है, वो हमारा टेक अवे है फिल्म से। यानी ये जरूरी नहीं है कि अच्छाई को अच्छा दिखाया जा रहा है, बुराई को बुरा दिखाया जा रहा है, लेकिन जीत आखिर में अच्छाई की ही हो रही है। तो जो मॉरल डिलेमा है उसको लेके जो अंतर्द्वंद है, जो एक इमोशनल टर्मोइल है ऑडियंस में, वो लोगों ने आइडेंटिफाई किया और उसको बहुत हद तक पसंद किया। तो 70s और 60s, उसके साथ 70s का दौर भी उतना ही जरूरी रहा है हमारे कल्चरल इम्पैक्ट और एजुकेशन में। उसी दौरान आंधी भी आई थी। आंधी लूजली बेस्ड थी इंदिरा गांधी के लाइफ पे, लेकिन उससे पहले हमने इस तरह की फिल्में नहीं देखी थी। हम पॉलिटिशियंस को जानते हैं दूर से, हम पास से करीब से नहीं जान पाते हैं। यहाँ पे एक पॉलिटिशियन, वो भी औरत की कहानी हमने नजदीक से देखी, तो वो अपने आप में मुझे लगता है एक इम्पॉर्टेंट माइलस्टोन था। इसी दौरान और कुछ फिल्में आई, लेकिन किसी ना किसी वजह से शायद इतना इम्पैक्ट नहीं दे पाए जितना ये जो मैंने 10 फिल्में आपको बताई इन्होंने दिया। 80s थोड़ा सा लो पॉइंट कहा जाएगा। अगेन लिबरलाइजेशन से पहले की बात है। 90s में मनमोहन सिंह गवर्नमेंट ने जो लिबरलाइजेशन प्रोसेस शुरू किया था, उससे पहले का दौर था। उस समय बहुत सारी पायरेसी हो रही थी। हमारे फिल्म हॉल में पहुंचते ही नहीं थे, थिएटर्स में पहुंचते ही नहीं, उससे पहले कैसेट बन जाते थे कराची में या दुबई में और लोगों के घर तक पहुंच जाते। तो फिल्म बिजनेस को बहुत बुरा उसका असर हुआ। फाइनेंशियली बहुत प्रोड्यूसर्स को लॉस हुआ। लेकिन इसी दौरान एक जबरदस्त मध्यांतर फिल्म आई गोविंद निहलानी ओमपुरी की अर्धसत्य। इट इज अ ट्रेजर ऑफ द आर्ट हाउस सर्किट। इसी दौरान एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फिल्म आई महेश भट्ट की अर्थ। यानी एक सताई हुई बीवी है, वो क्या कदम उठाती है। उसका पति is having an extramarital affair. What does she do? Does she take it lying down? No, she walks out on him. And when he comes back to her, she gives it back to him. She says, no, I can't accept you anymore. So I think these are takeaways, very, very strong takeaways. As I said, takeaways सिर्फ चीजों की नहीं होती हैं या फोन्स या मटेरियल चीजों की नहीं होती हैं। एक टेकअवे ये भी होता है जब लोग उससे इन्फ्लुएंस होकर कहीं ना कहीं सोचने पर मजबूर होते हैं। मुझे शबाना आजमी ने खुद कहा है कि अर्थ की पॉपुलैरिटी इतनी जबरदस्त थी कि देवर एटलीस्ट 200 women coming to her place every week and asking her to solve their marital problems. You know, people take cinema so seriously in our country. They don't realize that Shabana Azmi was only playing a character. It was a Mahesh Bhatt scripted film which Shabana was a part of. So कहीं ना कहीं, और ये सिर्फ बॉम्बे की औरतें नहीं थी, ये और शहरों की भी थी जो सताई हुई थी। तो टेकअवेज का जो है कल्चरल जो एजुकेशन या कल्चरल हम जो बात कर रहे हैं, जो इम्पैक्ट किए इस फिल्म ने, वो कल्चरली इस तरह से हुई कि लोगों ने, ऐसा नहीं कि लोग सारी औरतों ने अपने पतियों को छोड़ दिया, ऐसा नहीं हुआ, लेकिन लोगों ने सोचना मजबूर किया। सिनेमा जब हमें सोचने पर मजबूर करता है, व्हेन इट makes us think and rethink who we are or what we do and how we should do it, I think that's the essence of good cinema. That's the strength of cinema, which a lot of films of the 80s did. इसी दौरान कर्ज भी आई थी, बदले वाली फिल्म थी, इस दौरान खूबसूरत भी आई थी ऋषिकेश मुखर्जी की, उमराव जान आई थी जो अगेन एक पार्टीशन पर फिल्म थी। फिल्म कई फिल्में ऐसी भी थी जो बहुत लार्ज स्केल पे प्रोड्यूस हुई थी और मासेस को पसंद आई थी, लेकिन उनकी जो एक अंडरलाइन जो थीम थी वो जब लोगों तक पहुंची, आई थिंक दैट वाज अ वेरी रिच टेक अवे फॉर देम। अब अगर हम 90s की बात करें, 90s में आपको पता है कि अभी हम थोड़ी देर पहले भी बात कर चुके हैं कि 90s में हमने देखा कि एक लिबरलाइजेशन प्रोसेस आया, जब हम लोग ने देखा कि नहीं, बहुत सी ऐसी चीजें हैं जो हमें आसानी से मिल जाती हैं, जरूरी नहीं है कि वी हैव टू डिपेंड ऑन वीडियो कैसेट। इकोनॉमी ओपन हो गई थी, हॉलीवुड फिल्म्स रिलीज होने लगी थी, तो हमें एक्सपोजर हुआ और फिल्मों का भी। तो जब लोगों ने देखा कि बाहर ऐसी फिल्में बनती हैं, अब तक हम वीडियो कैसेट चुरा के देखते थे या कभी कोई पायरेटेड वीडियोस देखते थे, अब हॉल में आने लगी बहुत सारी फिल्में। वार्नर ब्रदर्स ने यहाँ पे ऑफिस खोल लिया, साथ ही साथ 20th सेंचुरी फॉक्स, बाहर की जो कंपनीज हैं, बड़ी बड़ी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नेटवर्क है, उन्होंने इंडिया में ऑफिसेस खोले, तो हमें डायरेक्ट वहाँ की फिल्में देखने को लगी, तो हमारा एक्सपोजर, हमारा ज्ञान बहुत बढ़ने लगा। और उससे क्या हुआ कि फिल्म मेकिंग की तकनीक, the techniques that were used in Indian cinema obviously flourished. We saw a very good quality films, technically, and also thematically we started exploring newer themes, and more the gloss of cinema than themes, I think, started attracting the viewers. The viewers now had a choice, a wide choice to pick and choose from. So बॉलीवुड ने अपना स्टैंडर्ड भी बेटर किया, यानी हिंदी सिनेमा ने ही नहीं, इंडियन सिनेमा ने भी जनरली अपना स्टैंडर्ड उभारा, क्योंकि लोग अब डिमांडिंग ज्यादा हो गए थे, वो लोग बेहतर सिनेमा देख चुके थे बाहर का, तो उनको चाहिए था उसी स्टैंडर्ड का सिनेमा इंडिया में भी प्रोड्यूस हो। अगर 2000 की बात करें हम, 2000 एकदम अलग किस्म का था। वहाँ पे स्लाइस ऑफ सिनेमा जिसको हम कहते हैं, स्लाइस ऑफ लाइफ सिनेमा हमें देखने को मिला। यहाँ पे हमें दिल चाहता है कह लीजिए या चक दे कह लीजिए, इस तरह की फिल्में देखने को मिली जो बहुत क्लोजर टू रियलिटी थी, जिसके साथ हम बहुत ज्यादा आइडेंटिफाई करते थे। एक हॉकी कोच की कहानी या 3 दोस्तों की कहानी जिनको प्यार है, एक को बड़ी महिला से प्यार हो जाता है, एक फ्लर्ट है, ये तरह तरह की थीम्स जो 2000 में देखने को मिली, वो इसीलिए देखने को मिली क्योंकि दौर बदल चुका था, सोसाइटी बदल चुकी थी। इसलिए नहीं कि फिल्म मेकर्स बदल रहे थे, इसलिए कि हमारी सोसाइटी बदल रही थी। इंडियन सोसाइटी वाज अंडरगोइंग अ ड्रामेटिक चेंज, and again by then internet had come, so we were also more and more exposed to all kinds of world cinema, and we realized that जो नाटकीय अभिनय हम लोग करते थे 50s और 60s में, अच्छी फिल्में बनती थी, डेफिनेटली अच्छी स्क्रिप्ट भी थी, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं हमारा अभिनय नाटकीय होता था, थोड़ा मेलोड्रामा होता था, बहुत ज्यादा नेचुरल एक्टिंग हम लोग नहीं करते थे। तो आप देखेंगे कि 90s के बाद बहुत से लड़के लड़कियां जो आम घरों के हैं, आपको मालूम है, ये आपके पेरेंट्स भी आपको बताएंगे, मेरे पेरेंट्स भी मुझे बताते थे कि एक समय था 50s में जब फिल्मों से जुड़ना बुरा माना जाता था सोसाइटी में। कोई फिल्मों में काम करता है तो उसको कहते हैं ये खराब है, ये लाइन अच्छी नहीं है। हाँ, देखते थे लोग, फिर भी फिल्मों के साथ जुड़ना नहीं चाहते थे। वो धीरे 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 बदलते जब 90s और 2000 में आया, वो चेंज हो गया। ऐसे बहुत से परिवार हैं, सिर्फ दिल्ली बॉम्बे के ही नहीं, छोटे छोटे शहर में भी, मेरठ हो, चाहे जयपुर हो, चाहे इंदौर हो या कानपुर हो या गाजियाबाद हो, वहाँ के लोग फिल्मों से जुड़ना चाहते थे। उनको लगता था कि नहीं, फिल्में अच्छी हो सकती हैं, फिल्में ये अच्छी लाइन है, यहाँ पे हम अपना हुनर दिखा सकते हैं, वी कैन मेक गुड यूज ऑफ आवर टैलेंट, and not just in terms of our acting talent or dancing talent or singing talent. We can make good use of our technical talent. लोग editing सीखने लगे, लोग scripting सीखने लगे, लोग camera work सीखने लगे, और अब तो छोड़ दीजिए, अब तो डिजिटल का युग आ गया है, अब तो डिजिटल कैमरा लेके आप फोन से ही फिल्में बना रहे हैं। तो वक्त इतनी तेजी से बदल रहा है कि फिल्मों ने हर समय वक्त का साथ दिया है। यानी जैसे जैसे वक्त बदला है उसका चेंज हमने फिल्मों में देखा है और आज भी देखते हैं और आने वाले सालों में भी देखेंगे। जैसे मैंने कहा कि फोन लेके आप फिल्म बना सकते हैं। बच्चे क्लास 9-8 के बच्चे अपना एक फोन लेके और छोटी छोटी शॉर्ट फिल्म बना रहे हैं। आजकल ये जमाना आ गया है। तो ये जबरदस्त एक कल्चरल इम्पैक्ट है। पहले जमाने में कोई कहता था कि मुझे फिल्मों में जाना है, तो देयर पेरेंट्स वुड से नो, आई थिंक यू शुड गो फॉर एन MBA और यू शुड बिकम अ डॉक्टर और एन इंजीनियर और यू शुड study hard, you should do this and you should do that. A lot of people I know don't mind sending their children to Bollywood. Of course, every line has its good and bad points. I'm not saying Bollywood is the ultimate choice or should be the ultimate choice. There are good and rotten apples everywhere. But a lot of children from good families are educated. They're also educated. They've been to good schools. They also have had good education in colleges, are opting for cinema as a profession, which is a cultural takeaway. Till very recently, till 1980s, it was almost unheard of. People have started moving to Bollywood, but then only 1%, not so much as they do today. So there are various takeaways, various cultural impact of cinema, and all through the ages, it has always been dependent on the socio-political and cultural movement that the country has enjoyed over the years. Any questions or any comment you would like to make?
Yes, sir. The chat box is full of, compliments that it was a nice session and they enjoyed it thoroughly. Because of the shortage of time, I'll take 2-3 questions only.
Yeah.
One question is, who is this person? Sir, is Renu Singh. She's asking, could you please discuss the depiction of Dalits in cinema or OTT platforms? Do you think there is a difference in depiction of Dalits in 2 different platforms?
Yes and no, both. The word Dalit itself, I think, has been removed now. We don't use that term anymore. We call it the marginalized society. I mean, it's not politically correct to use that term. But yes, in cinema, because we have censorship. In India, we have a censorship which is part of the cinematograph, which I think should be abolished completely. In the West, the producer goes to the governing body and says, okay, give me an A certificate because my cinema has crime or sex or nudity or has certain objectionable things. It doesn't depend on the governing body to issue a certificate, A or PG or whatever. यहाँ पे होता है कि चंद लोग बैठ के डिसाइड करते हैं कि 8 या 9 लोग बैठ के डिसाइड करते हैं कि इस फिल्म को A मिलना चाहिए या इसको U मिलना चाहिए या UA मिलना चाहिए या जो भी है, और इस फिल्म में ये सीन काट दो, ये इतने सारे सीन्स काट दिए जाएं। तो विच इज वाई इट्स अ वेरी सेंसिटिव इशू, और वो अच्छी अगर तरह से आपने डिपिक्ट नहीं किया है तो फिल्में का रीच अभी भी बहुत ज्यादा है, राइट? OTT प्लेटफॉर्म्स क्योंकि घर घर में आ सकता है आपके, लेकिन इसमें एक इंटरनेट कनेक्शन चाहिए, आपको एक लैपटॉप या टीवी चाहिए, उसकी वजह से उतना कॉमन नहीं है अभी भी, मैं कहूँगा। तो OTT में ज्यादा फ्रीडम मिली हुई है अभी तक। आगे क्या होगा मैं नहीं कह सकता, अभी भी शायद उस पर मीटिंग्स चल रही हैं, बातचीत चल रही है, लेकिन हाँ जो डिपिक्शन है आप सही कह रही हैं कि जो OTT में है डिफरेंट तरीके से मौजूद, वो कहीं ज्यादा खुला है, कहीं ज्यादा रियल है, कहीं ज्यादा बिलीवेबल है, कुछ ज्यादा कन्विक्शन से हम कह सकते हैं कोई बात। और फिल्मों में क्योंकि सेंसरशिप पॉलिसी है, OTT में अभी तक पॉलिसी जो सेंसरशिप पॉलिसी है लागू नहीं हुई है, बातचीत चल रही है। फिल्मों में सेंसरशिप की वजह से हमें सुनने में आया है कि बहुत चीजें रोक दी जाती हैं और पूरी तरह से हम उसको दर्शा नहीं पाते हैं।
सर रिलेटेड टू सेंसरशिप ओनली, जब भी आप बात कर रहे थे, गुजार हुसैन है, वो कह रहे हैं कि इफ देयर इज नो सेंसरशिप then I wonder how we relate cinema, society and education if it's vulgar or abusive, nudity and body as commodity.
I think you have a choice. These days you get to see promos. You get to know about a film's release much in advance these days. The theme that the film has. And if you don't like something, you can always walk out, or you can, but see, sex per se or nudity per se is of course not something that I would approve of. But if it is part of a narrative, if it is justified as part of a narrative, then why should people have an objection to it? I don't think society will get corrupted after seeing these kind of movies. Censorship is something that I think curbs freedom of expression. अब कोई फिल्म में अगर आप एक दिखा रहे हैं कि एक आदमी गाली दे रहा है, जैसे कि ये बहुत, मैंने इसलिए छेड़ रहा हूँ कि ये बात काफी आजकल जगह पूछी जाती है मुझसे कि OTT प्लेटफॉर्म में जो हम देखते हैं, Amazon पे और Netflix में बहुत गालियां हैं फिल्मों में। मुझे नहीं मालूम कि कौन से शहर में ऐसा है कि जहाँ गालियां नहीं सुनने को मिलती है, कहीं ज्यादा तो कहीं कम। हाँ, ऑफ कोर्स आप गाड़ी में घूमते हैं, आप एक ऑफिस से दूसरे ऑफिस जाते हैं तो आप शायद कम सुनते होंगे, लेकिन आप अगर किसी भी कियोस्क पे खड़े हो जाए, किसी फेरी वाले मेट्रो में चले जाएं, बस में चले जाएं, और पीपल जस्ट स्वेयर वर्ड्स नॉट मीनिंगफुली, दे जस्ट से थिंग्स, sometimes they just say things without realizing that they're actually using a bad term. इतनी ज्यादा उनकी लैंग्वेज के साथ जुड़ी हुई हैं कुछ गालियां कि उनको पता ही लगता है कि हम गाली दे रहे हैं। हाँ, आप सही कह रहे हैं कि कुछ लोग शायद इसकी आपत्ति जताएं और घर में तो नहीं गाली देते, बैठ के अपने माता पिता के सामने गाली नहीं देते हैं, लेकिन आजकल, अभी थोड़ी देर पहले हम बात कर रहे थे कि इतनी ओपन हो गई है सोसाइटी कि कुछ बातें इतनी ओपनली बोलते हैं। फिल्मों को आप रियलिटी से अलग नहीं कर सकते हैं। आप ये नहीं कह सकते हैं कि भाई ये फिल्म में है, ये घर में। अगर आप, फिल्म शुड बी एज क्लोज टू रियलिटी एज पॉसिबल। अगर आप एक पब दिखा रहे हैं या एक ड्राइवर दिखा रहे हैं जो सारा दिन काम करता है, पढ़ा लिखा नहीं है और शाम को जाके दारू पीता है, दारू पी के वो कोई हनुमान चालीसा तो नहीं बोलेगा। वो जिस तरह की भाषा बोलेगा आप उस कैरेक्टर के साथ एसोसिएट करेंगे। तो गाली को अलग हटा के मत देखिए, गाली को उस कैरेक्टर के साथ देखिए। और इसीलिए फिल्म मेकर्स को भी ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा कि अगर गाली रख रहे हैं या कोई इसे सीन्स रख रहे हैं, वो नैरेटिव के साथ जाए, अलग से सिर्फ टिटिलेट करने के लिए नहीं जाए। क्योंकि अगर आप कमोडिफाई कर रहे हैं किसी एक्ट्रेस की बॉडी को या किसी सीन को या किसी कोई भी धर्म की चीज को, तो वो गलत है मेरे हिसाब से और बहुत ज्यादा आपत्तिजनक है। लेकिन किसी कैरेक्टर के साथ, किसी सीन के साथ कोई जा रहा है, एक बार डांसर है, वो कोई मदर टेरेसा की बातें तो नहीं बोलेगी, वो बार डांसर की बातें बोलेगी। तो आप उस तरह से उसका कैरेक्टर में पिरोएंगे, उसको डायलॉग्स देंगे।
Thank you, sir. Very nicely elaborated the appropriateness of character and narrative के हिसाब से चीजें होनी चाहिए। like बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो अभी भी questions हैं, but because of shortage of time अभी और नहीं हो पाएगा। So
right. I just noticed it's 4:30 already.
Yeah. So on the behalf of ARSD College, the entire team and all the participants, sir, I would like to thank you for your enlightening session. And very nicely you have talked about that what are the takeaways of the movies and how they are impacting our culture and the consumer behavior of Indians, especially Indians. So once again, thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure. It was entirely my pleasure. I wish I could see them and, I could take more questions, and maybe when the lockdown, pandemic is over, I hope someday it will be.
We are
in person. Yeah.
We are following Raj Kapoor's The Show Must Go On. Even in this
Yes.
pandemic, we are conducting our sessions.
It's always a pleasure to meet one-on-one, It always has. I love interacting with students. I learn so much from them.
I think our participants are also wishing this, that they could have got more time to interact with you and they could have talked to you face to face, but obviously the situation is not allowing us.
Sometime,
Thank you so,
yes, we
yeah,
will do
thank
it.
you so much. sir.
Thanks so
Thank you.
much. Thank you.
Yes, and now I hand it over to my colleague, Dr.